Hello, my name is Jake Trombley and I am 30 years old and I am doing my presentation instead of typing it out. Uh, I feel better explaining it verbally because that's just how my mind is wired. I can do a lot better talking about it than because when I come up with an idea, I'm going a million miles an hour. It's going whoop over there, and while my brain is typing, it's still pacing along like that. So I do enjoy it. Thank you for letting me being able to do it via video. So I'm going to start off. What is my vocation? So it feels to me that's like, what is my mission statement as a person? Well, I want to help to better existence for life for everyone else, even myself. Create a better work environment, better like social environment too. Like I was always taught as a kid, you go camping, you clean it up after yourself, leave the place a little bit better than you found it. So that's what my mission statement, like I feel like my vocation is, like my personal mission statement is just to help better existence of life and create a better environment for everyone to be in. Uh, with the emotional intelligence, I actually enjoyed taking that because I figured out I'm a pretty good at reading at people. So doing a video thing is kind of a little tricky for me because I cannot read, facial expressions on the other side of the camera. And that's how I usually gauge how things are going to go. Um, one of my sources here is the EIDI uh, results of for a stronger. Like one of the things that really resonated with me with that little article there was I want to always create a synergy, like focus on synergy because I'm more of a social, watching things kind of person. And moving a little bit along here, kind of go down to the Myers Briggs, which I really personally enjoyed doing myself. There's 16 different traits. I happen to be an ENFP, so I kind of really enjoy the ability to be creative, come up with a new way of doing things. And I have 100 different ways I wanted to do this video, but I kind of sat down and went, okay, I got to be a little bit more realistic here. How can I make this a really good, fun, but yet informative? So my dominant is one of my dominant traits is being very extroverted intuition with introverted feeling and extroverted thinking and introverted sensing. So I'm gonna kind of feel like a little bit of a contradiction in a way. I'm like the most extrovert, like introverted extrovert there is. So I kind of feel kind of cool about that. Um, and there's a lot of kind of feels like we're a bit of a contradiction because we can kind of flip in between introverted and extroverted, and we kind of see all point of views, and we kind of want to be inclusive of everyone, which kind of really helps in the management world for me. Is like in the TED Talk, Your Personalities in Your Brain. I am the fiery yellow person. I want to include people. I want to get people going. Let's go get this done. I want to set this plan up, and we're going to go for it. We're going to run it down, and we're going to have fun with it. And kind of jumping back to like the faith and values that I hold as a person, I kind of want to like for as a leader, I want to be wearing multiple hats. I like to be able to be very empathetic because that's one of my big, traits as an ENFP is being very empathetic to others and just being able to understand others and take into account. And that's also where where I really rank high with the social IQ, well, the emotional EQ. Like it's like what makes a good leader by Daniel Goleman there. We talk about how many different hats that you wear as a leader, and it just makes it really good for work environments. So I'm going to kind of jump into a little bit of like the leadership, like how I would be as a leader. I will tell you one of the ways I really work really, really well is laissez-faire. As much as people go, oh my God, that's total anarchy. I'm a creative type. I just need someone to kick the tire once in a while. Like, hey, you're doing a project? Yeah, I'm on my 12th different project because, I gave up on the other 11. I kind of got a new idea and I'm chasing after this tangent now. I do need someone once in a while to go, hey, you just need to focus on this one. Hey, get this done. I'm just going to, not micromanage you because every time when someone tries to micromanage me, it makes me a little bit more stubborn and doesn't make me the best worker. That's how I learned myself. So I kind of looked at like, okay, when I got into the management role, I'm like, well, I can't exactly be laissez-faire anymore because, well, people are going to expect a little bit more from me. And I'm not saying it like in a bad way, like, oh God, I'm, got responsibility. It's more like, okay, this is how my mind works. So I'm going to try to switch it up. I'm going to try to, do like the like autocratic one, like where it's like I'm the leader, I'm in charge. But I tried that for 5 minutes, and my God, my empathy just went like, nope, I can't do this. I cannot be a jerk. It just kind of felt like more being a jerk than anything else to me. So I kind of adapted to being like a servant style of leadership, as like what we talked about on the YouTube video of the 10 leadership styles in 5 minutes. I really got along with doing this servant leadership when I was in retail management because I would show, like, hey, I'm interested in you. Please, this is who I am. I want to get to know you. I want to work with you. I'm not going to I'm not going to make you work for me. I'm going to work with you. We're going to be a team. Like, create that synergy. So I really liked, not micromanaging too, because that's with the autocratic. I felt like I had to micromanage people because, that's the mindset I feel like you have to be in it. That's just not how I'm wired. So it's the servant one worked really well for me because it's kind of plays to my strengths of being like empathetic and just helping people. And then how I did like the whole planning and like when we went over to the planning, the POLC portion of the books, in Principle of Leadership, Chapter 4, I kind of got in my mind like, okay, I can look at how it's written in the book, like, okay, this is how they say you got to plan, organize, and carry out. Personally, like with plan, organize, leadership, and see, always loses my train of thought because I never get to that far in my plans. I like making plans, I just don't follow through. Typical ENFP problem. Let's take a look. So like I was looking at like planning. Oh God, I love planning. I can design a plan. It can be the most complex plan. I can sit down and literally think of a way of how I'm gonna, start a business, like a new car company or something. I can come up with all these ideas and like have the marketing strategy, have my, what my gimmick's gonna be, what kind of vehicle it's gonna be, how I'm gonna get the sources and all that stuff. But once it comes to carrying it out, typical EMP fashion, bye. Um, then I get to the organizing. So I was thinking, okay, got done with the planning. Okay, I set it up how I want to do it. The organizing is saying, how am I going to get this done? Like, where's my manpower? What kind of environment am I going to make? What kind of culture am I going to create with my doing this project? So, like, it comes like because I have like two different kind of styles to me. I have my total business side where I can just sit down and be professional, and there's also that artistic side of me where I'm like, I have a vision I want to do it, so I'm going to apply it to both of these. So with the planning with business, I can set up the business plan like what I want to do. This is how, and then I get to the organization. This is how I'm going to carry it. I'm going to create a culture. I'm going to bring in these people because I know these people got the sources of how to do this. They have the better expertise than I do. L for leadership. How am I going to carry out my plan? Like how it's going to be executed, just going on. And the like taking a look and taking a look at what you did and kind of looking back at it and going, okay, this is what I did. This is the time to rethink and go, did this plan work out? Did I really change it up and make my way through it? Or do I have to repeat and go back to, step 1 back to P or step 2 back to O? One of the things that I like to do as a manager, I like to keep morale up. That is one thing, and I like to motivate, and I tailor it to each situation. And that brings up the next one. My least favorite thing is dealing with conflict. No one likes conflict. But you just got to get into a different mindset of looking at it as like two heads butting heads. No, it's to me, it's a miscommunication as the leadership leading with conviction, masters critical thinking pillar with by Sarr and Hangrove. They talked about how conflict is really a communication. So that's my mindset too. I've always had it like that too, because most of the time people will butt heads. Like they'll hear like, "Did you say the left or the right?" And like people can get confused and people get stuck in their ways and think, "Oh, we do it the left way or we do it the right way." It's just how that, unfortunately, that's how conflict happens. So how I bridge that and fix that problem. So I, reading, understanding the, and challenge your management style by Robert. He talked about compromise style. And that's where I feel like I kind of fall into it, because I will sit down, look at it, look at the problem, look at it logically, like, okay, I see that it's a miscommunication. Let's compromise. One of us misheard. So we're going to try to figure if maybe you heard something and you have a little different of an idea. We'll compromise and kind of bring it towards the middle and meet together and bring that synergy again. One of the other problems, I could see with problems with my, business plan and being a leader in general. I am way too much of a relaxed person. I assume everyone else is well-mannered and that they're not high-strung, and I feel like I could be easily taken advantage by someone who is manipulative and who likes to micromanage and just abuse power in a way. I'm more of let's let things go, laissez-faire, kind of like I will expect, you to do some work. I'm not going to hop on your back because I know that's not how a lot of people are wired. And then, just the hard part would be just being able to sit down, okay, let's make the corrections. Like, to me, it's like, okay, you're sitting down, you got to make the corrections somehow. Usually, I don't like to, write people up. That was, my least favorite thing to do because I, one, hate paperwork. Two, it just feels like I'm really drawing a nail into that person, kind of, killing their self-esteem and kind of losing their motivation to, work. And, I'm not going to, talk to them, talk down to them, oh, you haven't did your job correctly. Oh, how dare you? No, I'm more okay, I'm going to talk to you as an adult. What's going on? Is there a problem at home? Is there a problem here at work? We can work together to figure this out. And a couple of things that I would think would help me with my growth of my business if I did a business is I have a little bit of this charisma thing a little bit since, again, ENFP, we bring that charisma energy, we bring that energy. And I like to set goals and how I'd build a team. I attract people who are typically like-minded. I'm a bit of a rebel, but I want to be loved by all. So I know how to get people at work, come together with my charisma and just kind of build that synergy and just use my emotional intelligence that way, just bring the good vibe. And people go, oh, you need to be able to, when I'm telling, reading people, I can tell if they're a good person or a bad person. They give a certain vibe. It's kind of like my gut feeling, it's, perceiving and going with, the P, perceiving and going with that. This is the feeling, I'm going to go with that. Instead of judging where I'm going, okay, I can look through the analytics and be looking at it that way. But no, I go with the gut feeling. As I say, that's probably what I would probably feel like I would do really well with my business, is just being able to also read people, again, with my emotional intelligence and being able to tell what's going to be the problem for our growth. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful rest of your summer.